Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, Tvameva bandhu sasaka tvameva, Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva, Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Hari Om Shanti, 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 Hari Om. Oh Lord, your father, your mother, your friend, your companion, you're my wisdom, my knowledge. This morning, let me adore you in that manner, if this is my human effort, to get your grace. Bhavare mana pranavananda Guru Rupo Manohari Patita Bandhu Premira Sindhu Bhaktaranjana Kari Bhavare mana pranavananda Guru Rupo Manohari. Oh Lord, give me the strength so that my mind will always be at your feet and your teachings. Because I realize when it's not there, I get into a sorrow stage and the ego takes over and I think I am the doer of everything. Oh. This morning I want to talk a little about Bhagavad Gita. Welcome devotees to America here. It's a Monday morning. It's quite cold out there. After the yoga I went out there and wow, it's extremely cold. So let us all pay adoration to Krishna, Lord Krishna. That God who is there in the beginning without a name and a form, consciousness, like Lord Shiva, like Swami Parameshananda ji, like the Christ, like the Buddha. But the Leela is so mesmerizing and they have transcended the illusion of their lower nature. Bhumi rapo analo vayo kamano buddhire vacha ahankariti anme binna prakati ashtada. Hey Arjuna, I'm your body because I'm the five elements. Bhumi rapo analo vayo kamano. Earth, water, fire, air and space. That's our body makeup. I'm your mind. Because from the five sensing, see, hearing, touching and smelling and tasting, coming from the five elements, I make up your mind. I'm your mind. And anything that you know is because of my permission for you to learn them and your effort, Arjuna. So I'm your intellect. And I've given you this abhiman so that you could use it and for the right purposes, not to be identified by it. Yadyatat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana taratam karma kauntiya mukta sangha samachara. Hey Arjuna, you're going to do a lot of things in this world. You're going to be driven by the rajasic qualities, okay? But make sure that you don't get to become a victim. Kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samadbhava mahasansano mahapapa videinam vardinam. Let me get that right. Kama esha krodha esha rajogun samudbhava mahasano mahapapma vidyaenam eva vairinam. Arjuna, this is desire, this is wrath. It springs from the elements of rajas, the overactiveness. unsatiable and ravenous, unsatisfied, always looking to acquire. Know this to be the enemy of this world. Dumena vriyate vanir yato darshano malena cha yatolbena vrito garbas tatena adam avritam. As fire is enveloped by smoke, as a mirror by dust, as an embryo by the womb, so is this covered by that, meaning the Rajasic. And what it's saying? The soul is veiled by desires. The goodness desires I like smoke that cover fire. With a little discrimination, that desires are blown away and the soul is revealed. The Rajasic veil, the overactiveness, is in the form of excessive effort to acquire worldly possessions and pleasure, while the Tamasic veil is like the embryo in the womb. It cannot reach its maturity. It will take some time. So this morning, this is what we want to talk about. And, Bhagavad Gita, with the blessings of Acharya Dev, I was able to categorize it by topic, meaning everything in the Bhagavad Gita can be classified as topic. And here it goes. If we were to look at the Bhagavad Gita, and this is written in the book Eternal Answers by myself, Swami Parameshananda, you can get it at Amazon. And if first we want to do the invocation, Om Partaya Pratibhuditam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam. Now when we do the invocation, then Krishna Bhagavan spoke of himself, who he is, his consciousness, without name and form in the beginning, and from everything came there. And then he would have shown Arjuna the universal form, where he is the whole universe, all of creation. And then individual souls in all of us, we have that life force in us, and that is the soul. And then we have the objects of worship, the incarnations, personal gods and demigods. Like in Vishnu Bhagwan, we have Bhagwan Sri Ram and Bhagwan Sri Krishna and the Buddha. Personal gods and demigods, Mahalakshmi, Ganeshji, and Mother Saraswati. And then God as creation. This is the fifth way we can look at God. We should look at God. He's the elements in nature, like I was saying. The five elements, air, earth, water, fire, air, and space. And excellence in nature. Look at this. We're looking at the sun. It's so bright. The breeze is blowing. It's so cool. The water is refreshing. And this is the elements in nature. And then Bhagavad Gita tells us how to get into a relationship with God. We must have faith. Faith in when we worship, that whatever we do, that worship will be beneficial and move us close to God. When our sacrifice, when we do sacrifice for the welfare of others, Bharat, SEVASHRAM, and the food that we eat, because the food is what we eat, it becomes our mind. A person who drink a lot of blood and eat a lot of meat, you could see them, their anger is in them, and austerity. That austerity, that we have to bring our mind under control, our body under control. That is the austerity. And then charity, we must always give for the needy. Because when you give, then you always get. Because the people who never give, they never get, because they're hoarding it and they're watching the bank account and they don't want to spend it, right? Now, and then next one, to be in a relationship with God, we got to be under spiritual master. Thank God for incarnation of Lord Shiva, manifestation of consciousness for us. Bharat SEVASHRAM, Swami Parameshananda. God's grace. My first experience was a miracle. That's all His grace, by taking me out of the mundane world and putting me on the plateau of spiritual life. And then sustaining it through all the activities of Bharat SEVASHRAM. Part of the sustaining is to talk to you about this, to disseminate this knowledge. Devotion and self-surrender. Selfless service and duty, knowledge and wisdom, mind and meditation, celibacy, and renunciation. These are all ways to get into a relationship with God. And then, how do we know that we are not in a relationship with God? Signs of a person not in relation, of a person who is in relationship with God. He's stable and even-minded. Good or bad comes his way, he stays the same way. If it's cold or hot, it stays the same way. He never gets excited, nor does he get sad. He's not an enemy to the world, and the world is not an enemy to him. He transcends the base nature of the three gunas, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. Goodness, overactiveness, and laziness. And then, what are the qualities of a person not in relationship with God? He's a sinner. And the origin of sin, again, is coming from that overactive rajasic quality. Never in desire, always desiring something, bodily enjoyment, accumulation, name and fame. And this morning I just want to elaborate on that in this world, if you look at it, the people that come into you who are not in relationship with God, they assimilate their thoughts to how to get things out of you. I can remember there was a priest, and he's a good man, I would think so. But he has this idea that when he sees vulnerability, then he will capitalize on it. Meaning that there was an instance, we would give an ordinary person vice president of the mandir. Why? Because they're fooling the person, put him in a pedestal. In the meantime, the assimilation of thoughts, because he would already figured out, I could get so much money out of this person. And lo and behold, it was under the premonition, I'm going to save her marriage. Well, in the end, the marriage was gone. But he would have accumulated, kind of drained her out of all thousands and thousands of dollars. Because that's the thinking of that person. And a lot of person, maybe we are guilty of that too, that when we assimilate, and we might gain a lot of material things, but that material thing, Swami Parameshananda would have wrote in Hindutvam, yes, you might be accumulate and have it in this world, but you never have the happiness. Because money, when you have too much of it, is a problem, and when you don't have any of it, it's a problem. But if you pray to the Lord, He's going to give whatever is your necessity. And this is BHARAT SEVASHRAM saying, I'm a recipient of these blessings, that whatever work He asks me to do all over the world, He provides that. He sends those good devotees, those blessed devotees who have transcended religion, and they are spiritual. Their seva is their purification process, and they get to that state. So many people are hoarding the money and wanting to just give it to family, children, who are not worthy of it. Why not give it to society who is worthy of it? And then give some to the children, but don't spoil them. And because if a child finds out that he's going to inherit so much money, do you think he's going to want to work? No. Then his whole life will be a lazy one, or a tamasic nature. So then it goes on to say that what is death? After death and rebirth. And this is so important that Swami Parameshananda would have said, what in his Shangavani, when he got God realization, he would have said, what is the goal of life? Self-realization, universal emancipation. What is religion? Self-sacrifice, self-abnegation, self-discipline, adherence to truth and countenance. What is real death? Forgetfulness of the self. Meaning that you forget that you are that life force in you is the perfection. Study that. But we always study what was created and never study the Creator. They're both in us. If you want to be spiritual, study what as you being the Creator. You can't learn that from any books. You have to go to a spiritual master, and he'll help you to find out that you are the same Murti that you worship. And then he would have said, what is real life? Self-possession, self-remembrance, self-consciousness. What are real virtue? Heroism, virility, humanliness, and aspiration for emancipation. What are real enemies? Indolence, slumber, inertia, procrastination, lustful senses, and passions. I'm sorry, what are real sins? Weakness, fear, cowardice, meanness, and selfishness. You see that? What are real sins? That when you are selfish, when you're weak because of not living an upright life, you're guilty of wrongdoing, so it stays inside of you and it torments you. That's where the weakness comes from. Weakness, fear, cowardice, meanness. What are real assets? Self-confidence, self-reliance, self-respect. If you follow religion, that was Swami Parameshananda, self-service, and avoid the sins, then naturally you will have the self-confidence, self-reliance, and self-respect. And then what he says, what are real enemies? Indolence, slumber, inertia, procrastination, lustful senses, and passions. And then last one is, what are real friends? Energy, enthusiasm, and perseverance. How beautiful it is. It's laid out. This is so simple. This is all what Bhagavad Gita is talking about. It's a full spectrum of life that don't fall in the category of being a person not in relationship with God. Because all that you be doing is to manipulate. You'll have thoughts to manipulate people, how you can cheat them, how you can sweet talk them to get what you want. And then what happens? Oh, you might think you're progressing. But when you breathe that last breath, you will be going into that place where there's eternal, like we see in the Pandava brothers when they went into the heaven. Yudhishthira was asking, where are my brothers? And he saw they were screaming and yelling in pain and hot and cold. And he said, Lord, why are they here? So he says, oh, they have a little path to burn out. But very soon they'll be coming free and they'll become one with me. And then he saw Duryodhan little further down and he's enjoying himself, licking women, all of that thing, Kamini and Kanchan. And then he says, why is he enjoying himself, oh Lord? Then the Lord says, oh, he did some good, so let him enjoy it. But the majority, maybe a high percentage, 80, 90%, he will be suffering and he cannot come to me. He has to come back into this world. Do you want to come back? No, but let us be in a relationship with God. Let us not assimilate our thoughts, how to cheat people of others, how to get money, extract money or pleasure from others. But let us all be in the seva. Let us sing this nice Krishna bhajan. Krishna Murari Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayana Hari Om Hari Keshava Hari Govinda Hari Narayana Hari Om Hari Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hari Narayana Hari Om Vanmali Murli Dhari Govardhan Girdhari नित नित कर्माकन छोड़ी गोपी मनहारी नित नित कर्माकन छोड़ी गोपी मनहारी हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम आओ रे गाओ रे गोकुल के प्यारी आओ रे कांदा रे गोकुल के प्यारी आओ रे नाचो रे रास रचाओ रे हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम हरि सुंदर नंद मुकुंद हरि नारायण हरि ओम. Here is a dynamic opportunity for you to transcend, for us to transcend. With this arti, we surrendering this lower nature, the manifested, the creator, created, meaning our body, our mind, our intellect and ego. With this arti to Guruji, we're surrendering that. And what we want to be left with, through the process of elimination, of surrendering, we will left with that creator. And then we'll find out, oh my, we are that murti that we worship. We are the gods and goddesses. Nay, they also have to go to that place of liberation where they go to without name and form. We want to go beyond that. We want to be like the incarnation. We want to be like the Christ. We want to be like the Buddha. We want to be like Lord Shiva. We want to be like Mother Durga. and we want to be like Swami Parameshananda. Well, let us join me as we do the inside cleansing. I've taken a bath, I don't know, I'm all clean from outside, and we want to bring the waters from the holy rivers. Om Gange Chayamane Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmada Sindhu Kaveri Jale Asmin Snanidim Kuru. Om Kurukshetra Gaya Ganga Prabhasa Pushkarani Cha Tirtanyatani Punyani Kale Bhavantuha. With the power of the mind, we have made this place powerful, and your place too, where you're sitting there and you're looking at this murti. Your place, your environment there has been purified. It's a place of pilgrimage. Now we'll sip the water 3 times for the internal cleansing. Om Amrito Pasternamasi Swaha. Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. Om Satyam Yashasrimai Srayatam Swaha. Om Shanno Devi Ravishtaya Apo Bhavanta Pitaye Shanno Ravi Sravant. Om Vak Vak, Om Prana Prana, Om Chakshu Chakshu, Om Srotram Srotram, Om Nabhi, Om Hridayam, Om Kantaham Siraham, Om Bahobhyam Yeshubalam, Om Karetala Karaprishtim. We made our body so pure instrument so that we can worship the Lord. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. O Lord, let us bring us to that realization, this prayer saying, we came from the same place you came. We had no name and form in the beginning. We took this form. And through all the many births we've identified with the form, we forget that we are the one inside of us, that we have the name and the form, and we don't have the name and form. Salvation, moksha, liberation is coming to that realization that we are consciousness before creation. Let us join in prayers. Om Sahasra Shirisha Purusha Sahasrakshu Sahasrapad Sahumin Sarvato Sritva Atyatishta Dashangulam. Om Sarvataha Pani Param Tat Sarvato Akshi Shiro Mukham Sarvataha Srutimal Sarvamavritya Tishtate. Om Jyotishama Pita Jyoti Tamasaha Paramuchyate. Jnanam Gyam Gyanagamyam Vidhi Sarvasya Vishtitam. Om Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivashaho Sharanam Sure. Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Abhayam. Om Tvamari Deva Purusho Purana Tvamasya Viswasya Param Nidhanam. Tvamabhaya Swasvato Dharma Gupta Sanatanastvam Purusho Matomi. Om Pitasi Lokasya Characharasya Tvamasya Pujasya Garurgaryam. Natvatsavo Asti Abhyadika Kuto Anyo Lokatraye Apiya Pratimam Prabhao. Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, 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 Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om. O Lord, I surrender my sense of smell coming from Mother Earth. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya. I surrender the sense of sight because it's coming from the sun and fire, that elements. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om. I surrender the sense of taste, water. This water coming from water. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om. With this Trishul, I surrender my three innate qualities, Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya. With this fan, I honor you, O Lord, like I treat you like king, and also the ear, sense of touch, I surrender. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om, Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om. With my voice, my singing and the ringing of the bell, I surrender my sense of hearing. Om Karo Jaya Guru Om, Karo Jaya Shiva Om. Now that I've surrendered my body, mind, intellect and ego, my mind, now I pray to you. Accept my offering. This is my humble effort. Give me your grace. Om Namo Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya Omkara Murtaye Sakshat Parabrahma Swarupini Namaste Sri Bhagavate Pranavaya Paratmane Mahamukti Vidatreve Jnana Bhakti Pradayane Sri Gurave Namo Nityam Sudhasata sharirane Bhavabandhana chidhanancha Namami sarva sakshinam Gahorishtam guhatitam Purushan gahenatmakam Vanditakhilamarataya Pujitakshesha bhaktaye Tejo dipto prakashaya Namaste sarva saktaye Prasanam vandanam devam Sarva kalyana karanam Namami suksyamalangam Madhuram so manoharam Bhamakaradritadandaya Namatrishulapane Amitagaduritaaya Pranavanandaya te namah Om bhavatitam yashtu Mahabhava yuktam Nirakaram jacha sakaradiktam Om ahaitukam prema ghana divya murti Acharya rupam pranavam namami Acharya rupam pranavam namami Guru kripahi kevalam Guru kripahi kevalam Om Guru kripahi kevalam Guru kripahi kevalam Guru kripahi kevalam Guru kripahi kevalam Guru kripahi kevalam. Only through the blessings of the Guru, the spiritual master, the manifestation of consciousness, and for us, SEVASHRAM, Swami Parameshananda, and we honor and revere the Christ and the Buddha and all the credible incarnations. Devotees, a simple message today. Try to be in a relationship with God. Because if you're not in a relationship with God, then what happens? You will be spending your time assimilating your thoughts, how you could bully others, how you could use others for your own personal material gains and name and fame. This is the sin of our lives. We have the capabilities of being gods and goddesses. It's all in us. Let us discover it. Take blessings this morning. And I pray that you have a very beautiful day. And this is my humble offering. Hari Om Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om. I recommend that you do sit down and do some meditation. If you have the time. And the Guru Mantra might be Om Sri Guru Shivaya Namah. 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 Blessings to all over the world. Nepal, India, Fiji, Trinidad, Guyana, Canada, here in America. Blessings, blessings, devotees. Hari Om, Shanti, Shanti, Hari Om.